Okay. I don't know. I didn't check. I'm on my stream right now. It was like 980 or 1080. Right? Do live. Heard? Oh, I click on it. Go away. Go. All messages. Roll up. Alrighty, we should be back now. That was fun. Everything turned off. Oh, this turned off too. Fun, fun, fun. The power went out. And once the power went out, everything went off. The computer, the screen, the modem, the router, and the stale time that YouTube gives you is not enough to reboot. So you have a pretty short period of time to reconnect. Okay, now. Yeah, that's not perfect, but I can live with it. It should print okay. Okay. Hey, Big Bad Joe. How are you doing today? Okay, anything else? What do I got stuff to do? Well, I might as well add the second shelf. Okay. Let's take this. Just do this. Take you like this. I really hate that, but first let's get this rotated for approximately. What am I doing? What I have to do is put it on this side. Click, damn you. Yep, there we go. Like, why make it hard? Ah, son of a bitch. Okay. Just do that. Shorten this like this. Widen it like this. It's gotta be a pest, doesn't it? Let's do this. should just be able to do that. There we go, that disappears. And that is fully immersed inside. Okay. Let's do this right there. Not what I want you to do. Okay. Let's make you go away for a minute. What am I doing? Use a square. That's arguing. Okay. Ooh. 4x4. Actually, I think it needs to be 3x3. Centers. Did that align correctly? Yeah. Okay. Like that. Okay. There's the hole. Oh, of course it did. There we go. Okay. All right. Now, how big is this? There it is. Okay. Way too early. Sorry. I didn't get shit for sleep last night. I kept waking up, falling asleep, waking up, falling asleep. I finally decided, screw it. I'm awake. Start. Okay, we are 28 millimeters. Okay. We are sticking out by like 1 millimeter. Yeah, about 1 millimeter. Right. You there. We're going to do that. And 28. Okay. Now what I need to do is to put a small bridge across this. That'll have a little step to hold that. I believe this is 50. Yes. Let's see, align you. That is so not what I asked you to do. You low-life scumbag. You. Unless this is asymmetrical now, then it might be exactly what I asked it to do. I didn't think so. That was good. Okay. Okay. Let's do this and this. Bring you over here. Let's put you together like that and drop you. Okay. Let's make it, I guess 3 millimeters thick. It should be enough. That's 10 layers. Maybe make it 4 millimeters. Okay. Let's put you here. And come on. Let's do 8 by 8. Okay. This, a line on you. Center. Not what I want you to do. God damn it. Why does it have to select everything on the screen? That's the one bug I wish they would fix. It's so aggravating when it does that. All I need is a little bit. That back side is a little bit concave. Okay. Okay. I'm going to put one of you here. This. And we're going to put one of you over here. Eat you. Join all of you. Okay. 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 you and you. Line on you, center. Okay, take you, disconnect. Control D. Okay. Take you and you. Join. Take you and you. Join. Wait a minute. Okay, this needs to be shortened. Just a hair. There. Now I got a better idea. Yeah, I got a better idea. Wait a minute, how big is that? Need to go 12.5. Does that invade? No, it does not. What the hell is that? I don't know what the hell that is. It's little nibbles right there. I don't know where those nibbles came from. Whatever, they're staying. Huh? No, it does not invade. We're good. Okay. Oh. Let's see. Okay, we take this and this. We lower it down just a little bit. That. Okay. Control D this. Turn it into a hole. Okay. One 1.25. 1.5. Take this and this. No, I got a better idea. Goodbye. Let's hide you for a moment. Just for a hot minute. Okay. Let's deconstruct you. We don't need you. And you need you. You, and you. Delete you. Okay. Let's do that. That. join. There is no transparent lens. There's nothing in front of the lens. There's just nothing there. That's the LED cob array right there. That's it. This is not a thrower. If you want a thrower, you buy a flashlight because you need optics to be a thrower. This is designed to be a general purpose, light everything up. No hot spots. Okay. Now we bring this back. Now, this. I'm going to take you and bring you over here. That. First, we need to take you. We need to do this. Okay. So we're going to take this. This. Okay. You are going to go here. You are going to get dropped onto there. You are going to line up with there. We did this 11. 11. Huh? Split you. Oh no, I need that. This and this. Align here. There. Eat you. Take you and you and you. Join you together. Come on. Sometime today. It's only 3 simple pieces. It's not like I'm asking you to join the world. Here we go. Let's say that should not take that long. You and you. Align you this way. Join. And we take you. This. Just to get rid of that pointy top, which always makes things not fun. Right? Then we take another one of you. Chop away most of this. Go. You and you. Join. Excuse me. You stop disobeying me. Before I get angry. You don't want to see me angry. Hey. All right. Let's make sure we're centered still. You, align on you. Yes, we're centered. Are we positioned? Right there. hit Control D. This needs to be 5 by 5. This is the pass through. Then we align it on this one. Line on you, there and there. Now we take you, shove you clean through this piece here. Do that. Okay. And this is going to have to be a bit bigger, I think. Come on. Come on. Yep. Think about like that. Okay. Now, does it poke through? I don't want it to poke through. Oh, it does poke through there. Yes, it does. Let's see. If I go like this. Okay. Now, if I want to give it 3 layers at least, let's go 1.2. Not what I want. Okay. Select, deselect. 1.2. That's 4 layers of plastic. Now, how tall is this? Damn it. It's too tall. Because it needs to be 12.5. Right there. Dagnabbit. How did I know it was going to do that? How much room do I have inside? I don't have enough. Well, this is what it needs to be. I can make this bigger, chunkier. Yeah, I can make that chunkier. Let's put the work plane here. Let's take this, join it with this. There's our screw hole. Come on, there you go. Now we do this. Oh, I can't do it. No. Now we take this, we unjoin that. This. Control D this. No, I don't have to Control D it. I just have to put something on top of it. What the hell? So I thought, okay. 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 Nope, I don't want that either. think I need to take this. Oh, it's going to get complicated fast. Do this. Go. Okay. There. Now all I have to do is print this. And that will be a little latch that will hold the USB port in place. Okay. Good. Then the wire will come in here for the second driver. Okay. I like it. Okay. Yeah, I'm good with that. Let's print this sideways. That. Okay. Let's do this. Come on. Export the damn thing. And one thing I'd still like to do eventually, if I could figure out a meaningful way to do it, is I would like to add a USB port to this so that you could charge like your phone with this, because the battery is so big that you could do other things with it. But first I need to make the ring for the cap. Okay. Come on. That looks like 16 millimeters. Why? There it goes. Wow, that took a long time. This is the clamp. Hell, I'll probably even print this out of TPU just to keep it nice and flexible. Tomorrow I'll have the 1/2-inch screws. Give me here. Nope, no waterproofing. There's no practical way I'm gonna waterproof this. But it's already USB-C charging. And not only that, but it'll charge at 25 watts. So it'll charge USB-C, and it'll do it at a pretty healthy clip too. There it is. I'll show you in a second. Hang on. Yeah, if your charger is capable of it, this thing will take 5 volts, 5 amps. It'll say, "Is that all you got for electrons, punk? Come on, feed me." Copy that. Why can't I paste that? You just saw me copy that. Copy. Go. Alrighty. Now we take these two, copy them, go back into our flashlight. Also bring up Prusa. Make sure there's no glaring errors in the file. Yeah, you should be able to make one of these for around 60 bucks. Including plastic and the gigantic battery. Let's see here. One shell, auto repaired 8 errors. It's fine. Let's go to fixed by Windows algorithm. Then export body. Yes. And this should be okay, but let's make sure the clamp is okay. One shell, 248. Yep, that's fine. Oh, we should have left that open because we're going to need it. So we do still need to fix this. Okay. Hide all this. Alright, so first things first, we no longer need the little slit, which is just going to cause us problems anyway. So how do we get it out of there? We do this, then we unselect this. There we go. Goodbye. Alrighty. Put a torus in here. And we make the radius. Let's make it 46, which is 23. Maybe we better make it smaller. 20. Okay. And we make the height 16. Why are you ignoring me? Okay. This should squish. So let's do 16.2. Make it just a hair taller. Align you here and here. Okay. Now, is that thick enough? Let's make the wall thickness 3. Let's make this 19. Okay. That should give us enough clearance. We are aligned. Join. This is the cat. Support. Okay. Go. Now that inner thing will push right up against that battery, so we're not applying pressure to the post middle. Okay. We don't need you. You need our pieces. Okay, rotate you this way. Then you this way. Okay. Here's how we get rid of this. Take this one, stretch it this way, then we align it with this. Line on you, here, here, here. Okay, and then we delete the old one. There we go. That's not quite perfect, but good enough. Oh, that's because that is altered. There we go. All right. You have a single emitter, dual emitter, and then this will have the side emitter right there. Okay. Okay. All right. Close this to save resources and slice and dice. This is already set up for doing this. Oh, let's grab the clamp. Done. Clamp. Yes. Layers. We're going to do 3. 1, 2, 3. 3, 3, 3. Infill. 20%. This won't take much plastic. Yeah, 13 minutes. 2 grams of plastic. Yeah. Yep, I'm totally happy with that. Go up here like that. And we need to do the cap. All right. Well, let's see here. Tools. Variable settings. Actually, let's just do the whole thing as 1 and see what happens. Control CV. see, select models. We just want the clamp on that one. Want the cap on this one. Let's see. Got 0.3, 3, 3, 2. 333 is fine. 20% is fine. Okay. Good, flat bottom. Boy, that's a lot of infill. I want that to be squishier. All right, tools, variable. Okay, so there is the top. So let's do 8 millimeters. Let's do 9 millimeters. Yeah, I like 9. Add. Okay. So we're going to do this part with 2 perimeters. The infill is going to be half of 20 is 10, half of that is 5. Okay. Okay. So we go 5% and 2 perimeters, which should leave that nice and squishy. Then we jack it up to 20% and 3 perimeters to stiffen it up, because we need to make sure this sets down real nice. Otherwise, this won't sit. I do not want that. Yeah, I don't want that. 78. All right, tools. Calculator. 78 divided by 3.3. 260. No. 78 times 0.3. 23.4. 23.4. Add. Not what I asked you to do. Why are you ignoring me? Because I'm on the wrong structure. I need to be on this one. Hey, SPC. 23.4. Add. Okay. Now, what we need to do is take a second cap. Okay. We go align model origins, and we group them. And now I can shove it around. Okay. Now we take this one. We make it a separate model. I'll have to get rid of those extra things, but that should cause it to... What the hell? Oh. Layer. Bottom. Chin. Off. Position. Off. Okay. It's still disobeying me. Why is it disobeying me? Did I do it in the wrong section? Did I do this wrong somehow? Yeah, this is wrong. It's in the wrong spot. How did I do that? Okay, let's delete it. I screwed up something. Yeah. Okay. Custom zones. Stamp. Okay. Tools. Variable. $23.4. That's wrong. How did I get that wrong? Screwed up somewhere. And I've got a glitch right there. That should not be there. What the hell is that? Why do we have a better check this file? There's a glitch in the matrix. Let's see. Said no errors, but the number of shells changed. The facets. Nope. You to delete. Let's do this twice. Okay. Models. That's better. Oh yeah, I'm totally off. It's 38. I don't know how I missed that. It's not 78, it's 38. 38 times 0.3. So it's 11.4. Tools. Variable. Oh, this one. This variable. What did I come up with? 11.4? So that's going to be 9. Add an 11.4, which did not work. I forgot to add it. 9. .4 add. Okay, so here you're going to switch to 20% infill, 3 top layers, no additions. And here, select models, and we only pick model 2. Infill is also going to be 20%. There's 3 outlines. Good. Good. Model 1. That one doesn't matter. Probably have a skirt I need to remove. Yep, there's an air skirt. Okay, let's see if it did it. That's what I want. What the fuck is that? We have an overlap. Okay. Yep, we have an overlap. Let's see, addition. Let's take that. It's fine. I'm surprised it didn't warn me about the overlap. It should have. Okay. We switch to 20%. Make sure we have our solid layers. Why? Because we want to make sure that... Whoa, why did it do 6? Oh, yeah. It's because of what I did. So it has to be 0. It should not be doing that. Okay, there's a solid. Oh, yeah, infill. Yeah, duh. But those bottom layers shouldn't be there. I don't care, but they shouldn't be. Yeah, see, no bottom layers. Brother. Yeah, that's not, there's no reason to do that. There just isn't. I mean, I guess theoretically one would fit inside there. Yeah. Although, not with the ring we're adding. But theoretically one fits. But not once you add this ring. But then again, there's enough space in here, you can just toss one in there if you want. Hell, you could toss a bunch of spare parts in there if you want. I wonder why it's doing that. Why is it adding... I mean, I don't care. It's not going to hurt anything. But it's still annoying. It's doing that. It shouldn't be. I'll show you what I mean. So what I want to do is make sure I have a solid top layers here. so that this would attach. The problem is it's printing bottom layers there, and it doesn't need to. I don't know why it's adding extra bottom layers. It's not going to matter, but it's still annoying. Now, the reason I have so much infill here is because I noticed that when I screwed the cap on, I noticed the cap was bulging out a little bit at the top here. So you can keep screwing it and the cap will try to keep going up. And that's because the cap is flexible. So by increasing the number of walls here and increasing the infill in here, it should make this portion stiffer without making this portion stiffer, because we want this portion to be squishy. Because the idea is if this hits the ground, that'll take up some of the shock. Okay. Let's export this. Clamp. Decode, yes. Save factory file, yes. Might as well save it. Clamp. Cap. Save. Okay, so this way I can tweak these settings later. We want to bring the body back. Delete the file and add the new file. Okay. Let's make sure this looks good. Yep, that looks good. Oh, thin wall right there. I didn't realize it was that thin. I'm going to leave it because I don't feel like messing with it. But I thought I fixed that. Okay. See how this looks. We have a little bit of thin wall right there, but that's okay. It's not. Oh, I don't like that. That's annoying. Little glitch there. That means I have a tiny gap there that I didn't realize was there. There's the screw hole. Not the screw hole. The pass-through hole for the wires. This should be hollow. Yes. So the wires themselves will keep that LED from falling out. Okay. The idea is this LED will be dimmer, but it'll light up your table. Okay. All right. That looks good. Hey, red light. All right, so this hole, I should thread that hole, but I'm not going to, just because it's a pain in the ass. But that little clamp will sit right on here. That little clamp should be just enough to keep you from pushing that out when you plug your USB cable in. It's a friction fit, but over time that could push inside the flashlight if you jam the cord in a little bit wrong. And now the nice thing is this PD trigger is also your charging jack. So if you ever wear out your charging jack, it's a $1 replacement. Matter of fact, I would even, since it only takes a screwdriver to install this, all you need is a screwdriver. I would even go so far as to make, if you want spare parts, include a spare charging jack. Because all you have to do is unscrew the terminal jack wires right there, plug the new one in, slide it in, and you're done. So if you ever whack your USB-C port, it'd be very easy for you to replace that. And all you have to do is take out the little clamp, pop out the USB-C port, screw the wires into the new one, pop the new one in, put the clamp back in. You could even, if you do it right, like if you put a sheath around it, you can even put a little screwdriver pair in here. Actually, that takes Phillips. So all you need is a Phillips. All you need is that size Phillips. And you can just leave a screwdriver in here to allow you to dismantle this whole thing. Just that one screwdriver. You know, I'm not gonna do it now, but I might do it later. Yeah. um, I'm gonna put a hex drive in the bottom of this so that you can take a bit, you know, a normal 6mm 1/4" hex drive bit, and just toss it in here, or put it inside the cap. So you actually have the screwdriver you need to be able to maintain this. That I want to do that just because it would be cool. Just because. Yeah, hang on, let me take that right now. We just finished doing this. Hang on, let's switch back to this. Let's verify my slice is good. I should knock off the top bit of this just to get rid of that, but I don't care. Okay. That looks good. Do have a bottom, and the clamp is big enough that we can get it by with a 1/2" screw. Yeah, it's turning out pretty damn cool. So here's the, hang on, let me oh, I forgot about this. How's this going to turn out? Oh, it's gradual. We're good. Ew, oh, ew, 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 ew. Yeah, that's not going to work. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 5/16. Yeah, that's not going to work. 5/16 times 0.3. So at 154.8. Okay. Not this one. Not this one. This one. All right. Tools. Variable. 154. Add. Let's get up to here. 165. Add. It should be this section right here. This section needs to have 20% infill. Okay. Good thing we checked that. Okay. I'll fix that later. There's basically a little hole in the model there. Okay, so we switch to high density infill right there, so that when we go to print this, it actually has something to print on top of it. Go. Ooh, I do not like that. There's almost nothing there. Oh, I did not notice that. We shaved that down too thin. I need to beef this up a little bit so that there's more than one perimeter there. And once you get up here, we're good. And you know something? This might be enough to support this. So we might be okay, because it's not like there's going to be any stress on that model. It might be okay. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Export. Flashlight body. Yes. Okay. Save the factory file. Okay, now I did find your thing in my, let me switch so I don't dox myself again. I did find your thing in the spam folder. It says PSA on it or something like that. Did you print out any of those sports ball card holders? They print out okay? it at? There it is. Send me some pictures of the finished prints when you print them. I'd love to see that. All right. God. Ow. Import. I cannot import a 3MF. Okay, so I just export it as an STL. Failed to parse 3D model from C. Uh-oh. Let's try Prusa Slicer. Okay. I don't know why it had a problem parsing that. It's a simple, it's a box. Okay. Alrighty. Switch back so you can see. Okay, we have this. Now, what do you want me to do with it? You want to put this on it? You want to put PSA on it? Where? Do you want it on the top of the box? Do you want it on the side of the box like you showed in the picture? Or I assume this is actually supposed to sit like this. This is the top because it's marked as top. Like in the pic. So you want it on here, on the side. Now, do you want it embedded in the side? Or do you want it sticking out, 3D like? Or do you want it just to be multicolor but embedded? $2D like? So you want it inside? You gave me two answers that are contradictory. You got to pick one. So you want it popping out. Okay. So what we got to do is add a bevel. Let's make it 2. You want to add a bevel like that. Otherwise, you'll have a problem with printing it. Let's see, 0.1. Okay. Let's make it stick out a little bit more. Like that. Then we embed it. There we go. Sticking out on the inside. No, we're not. Like that. You asshole, why'd you do that? Now, in your slicer, you should be able to simply paint these. So you can make these each a different color if you want. In your slicer should be able to do that. So I shouldn't have to make these like separate or anything like that. It should be as simple as you pick it in your slicer. 2. Go. You don't want too much of an overhang. So you'll get a nice clean print. Let's make sure there's nothing on the inside. Nope. The inside is clean. Okay. 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 A funky grift Kieran is coming your way. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let's double check. Make sure Tinkercad didn't do anything weird to it. Auto repaired. Oh yeah, lots of errors. I'll make sure it's clean. Export. Okay. Not what I wanted to do. Jesus. You go. There you go. I got the plates, but no filament. Do you have I thought there should have been another package there, but they told me there wasn't. Do you have a tracking number, or did they deliver it and leave a picture or something? Because sometimes they leave shit in weird places here. So if it's at the post office, I just need the tracking number. If it's at the if it was delivered, there should be a picture. And as soon as I see that picture, I'll know what the hell, wherever the hell they put it. Anything in here I need to keep? Nope. Yeah, good. With that chamfer, not only will it look good, but that should print cleanly too. You shouldn't have any problems with that. And we're doing not too bad this month. We're at 28.32 this month. So only 900 and what? $50? Not even 750. 920 bucks short. So, and we still have half the month. So there's a pretty decent chance I'll get that $115 this month. Okay. Man, that lucky bastard who scored that Core 1L last night. Oh, man. Oh. Oh, I'll show you with the flashlight. So, this is the flashlight now, except we're going to have the additional emitter here for lighting up the table. You'll be able to attach a strap, and all this is printable, so you can fit your hand straight through that strap, and your thumb just sits right there on the switch. Keep putting it off the camera. But yeah, nice grip. This is made to even if you're wearing a pair of ski gloves, you'll be able to get your thumb in there and move that switch. USB-C, it supports up to theoretically 12 amps, but since we're limited to 5 volts, about 25 watts is your max, and that battery should be able to handle that. Which will let you recharge that 64 watt-hour battery in about 3 hours. Just make sure you use decent wires. Make sure you use at least 20 gauge wires. Anything less, and they start to get pretty warm. I might even update it with the 3 amp. The 3 amp BMS, since I can get those now. Because let's be honest, 15 watts is plenty fast enough to charge a flashlight. It's going to be freely available in printables. I'm thinking about selling short kits where I print the parts for you if you don't want to print the parts, and maybe supply everything except the battery. Because shipping batteries is a bit problematic. But I can make a short kit that includes everything except the battery. Then you just order the battery. I like it. I think it came out great. There's 2 mounting points for the strap. So if you're right-handed, which means you're going to be holding the flashlight in your left hand, you use that side. But if you're going to need the other side, then you put the strap in the other set of holes. So now it's set up for left-handed people who need their right hand to hold the flashlight. This is the head of the flashlight. That also has a TPU bumper, so that I might round off these a little bit. Just put a little chop in there so it's not such a point. Because I realize that's going to concentrate force. We'll see. So this is the dual head. So it's got 2 of the emitters inside, and then you will also have a single head one, which just has a single hole. Looks like that. So if you want to print it in TPU, of course. So you have 1 or 2. Constant current driver, so you don't overdrive these. The idea is not to be super bright. The idea is to be bright enough to be useful without burning up the components. That's the idea here. Okay. So these constant current drivers can handle a maximum 9 watts. These are 5-watt cobs, which means you'll be putting a maximum of 4.5 watts in each. I have 2 copper heat sinks inside here. So there's the inlet air that goes in and out of there, just passively. Because it's 100 times more cooling than this needs. I'm running these at about 1 watt, and it's that bright. Right? It's more than bright enough. And as you can see, no hot spots. All right, there's no like hot center and then changing lightness. It's the same brightness all around. You almost can't even tell I'm moving the flashlight. Look at my face. Until you form a shadow, you almost can't even tell that it's moving. But we're really close now, so obviously you're going to see those. But you shine it on the wall, except for the shadows moving. Well, let me show you, actually. So except for the shadow moving, can't tell I'm moving the flashlight around. The only thing that gives away the flashlight's moving is the shadow moving. But if you look at the brightness, why can't I do this? Here. Jesus! If you look at the brightness here, the brightness doesn't really change. And that's because it's a very, very wide angle light. That's one of the reasons I love these little, Hi, kitty. Say hi, kitty. Here's my ender. It's one of the reasons I love these little cobs is because it's got like a 170 degree viewing angle. This is a lantern. It is a lantern. Literally, you take this and you stick it on the table and you shine it at the ceiling. It'll light up the entire room. It's a lantern. That's one of the reasons I recessed it like this inside this rubber hood is number one, to protect it, and number two, so that you don't see the emitters, so they don't blind you. So all you gotta do is have this high enough to, use the strap. Got the strap right there. Just hang it up on a carabiner or something high enough. It'll light up an entire freaking room. And then this is overkill for lighting up a workspace. So we'll have the side emitter here to light up your workspace. You're cooking, fixing something, whatever, writing, reading, whatever you need to do. And you can adjust the brightness for both of these if you want. I mean, just the second constant current driver is going to run this one, and you can tweak it to whatever brightness you want. I'm going to tweak it to about 50 to 80 lumens. That's all you're going to really need. While this is going to be pushing like 700 or 800 lumens. Theoretically, you could put out 500 lumens each at max power. That's 1,000 lumens. Theoretically, I don't know if it actually does that, but I don't care. I'm running these at about 1 watt, and it's more than bright enough. More than bright enough. We'll walk the dog. It lights up such a broad area that you can see everything. Really, it's the way I like flashlights. If I want to pinpoint something, I've got where is it? I paid $180 for it plus the batteries. I had a flashlight custom made using Nietzsche natural white, 4500 Kelvin light, and I can focus this son of a bitch down to a square this big. When I was delivering pizza, it was very handy because I had to find the house number, and by being able to focus the flashlight down to a square that big, I can it lit up the house like a spotlight, but only in that little tiny square, and so I can move the flashlight around the house and skirt the windows. So I wasn't shining light through people's windows. I would actually move it around the frame of the house until I found the house numbers. And I never had to worry about putting that flashlight through somebody's windows. But that's for that specific situation. Most of the time, I just want a broad, soft light. Let me see what I'm doing. Oh, okay, so it hasn't gotten here yet. Good, 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 good. Okay. 17th is today, which means I can pick it up tomorrow. We are in holiday mode here, where you can't unless he puts it in the mailbox. I can't pick anything up at the post office until the day after it comes in because they have to have time to actually sort everything. And so yeah, I'll be able to get it tomorrow. Good. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, those plates are nice. That's gonna work. I think that's gonna work well. Um, just because that's enough plates to allow. In fact, if I find myself a nice cast iron pan to put them in, then I can do 2, 4, 6, I think 8. I'll be able to do 8 of those prints at once. Put them all in the oven because I'm gonna have to run the oven for like 2 or 3 hours to get all that metal hot enough, and I'll be able to anneal them and keep them flat. The major distortion tends to happen on the z-axis, which in this case is this thick, so I don't care. God damn freaking snot again. Boxes. I hate that snot so much. If the doctor could do anything for me, I wish he could fix that. Just make it so I stop generating so much of this snot. Right, kitty cat? Yeah. um, I gotta do a little parts hunting Now that I want to do a smaller handheld flashlight, something you keep in the car. This is a little bit. This is good for keeping in your go bag in the back of the car, but not so much for just keeping up in the glove box for everyday use. This is just a little too big. So I want to make a smaller one, but I still want it's going to use the same cob, so it's still going to use this little cob just because these are so nice and so cheap. Then the constant current driver. Use that. Tone it down. Again, dirt cheap. And shoulder impingement. What's an impingement mean? I know what it means literally, but like in this context, what does it mean? Although now I might not be able to put the butt connector in the cap. Think about that. Now there is something I could do. Instead of using a butt connector, which just adds complexity and cost, instead I could just, oh, there goes the washer. I could just replace this nut with a wing nut so that you can take it off by hand. And then all you'd have to do is lay the wire in the cavity around the central hub and put this back on, and now your flashlight's disabled, and the only thing that's going to drain this is the self-discharge rate of the battery itself, which means if you charge it up to like 80%, you should be able to store this for 4 or 5 years and still have hours and hours and hours of runtime. And then all you have to do is unscrew this, unscrew the wing nut, slap the ring terminal back on, tighten it back again, put the cap back on, and now your flashlight is active again. Basically a storage mode. Let me try the bigger one. See what happens when I put the big. Oh yeah, that works. Oh yeah, nice. So the thick one works. So you can print the 5mm thick one. You see that washer sits between the battery and the shelf that keeps the battery from coming forward. So now the battery is captured. Because I realized pretty early on that there's really nothing stopping this battery from moving around inside there. And when your battery weighs that much, that's going to be a projectile. that battery's going to move. So now the battery goes in from the rear, and there's a shelf in there, so it can't go any further. And then we have a washer that fits right in that shelf. That's made of TPU, so it's nice and soft. And then the back right now, it's just pushing up against. You see, it's pushing it out. That's first of all, that's bad because we want this to sit. And second, so I might actually put a little hole in the bottom of the cap for that threaded part to sit, so that it doesn't make this curve. So now instead of doing that, we're going to have a cylinder inside the cap, and that cylinder will, instead of the force pushing on the end of this screw, which is probably really bad for the battery, the cylinder will push on the actual entire frame of the battery. So that should solve that problem, which means you do need a thinner washer. Okay. What else? The switch installs from the outside, screws in. I don't know if it comes with screws, so I got to figure out what screws I need for the switch. I made the holes to spec, meaning what the spec for the part told me to, but I don't know if it actually comes with screws or not. So might have to source screws for the switch. Then your USB board, it fits in there like a glove. I really nailed that. That fit really well. And but I am worried about that pushing out. So we're gonna have a little clamp in here that'll screw right in. That'll keep that from going anywhere. There's plenty of room in here for all the electronics. Shouldn't have any problem fitting everything. Can't think of anything else. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. That should be it. I mean, eventually it'd be nice to be able to plug your phone into this and charge your phone off of this. Although now we're getting what we call feature creep. We're adding features we don't really need, but it's such a big battery. But then again, the whole reason to have the big battery is that you always have light. And if you start burning up your battery to charge crap, well, you're going to run out of light. So sometimes it's nice to have, a dedicated source that's all it's for, just for light. Yeah, I like it. This should be out of the way. Okay. I wondered if I could curve this. I wonder how much could I curve this and get away with it? 5 days, 5 days of light or 2 hours of Candy Crush. These are so cheap. I'm gonna sacrifice one to see what happens. Oh, I heard something crack. It didn't curve. It just creased. Because I was wondering if I can make this conform to the shape of the light. I have it so I could slide it in from the bottom. Fit it in there. But yeah, I think I just killed it. I'll try lighting it up later. But yeah, pretty sure I just murdered that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's get the TPU parts printing since I already have TPU loaded. I think I have enough of the orange left to print one more body. Let's see. Nope. Flashlight strap. Clamp. Yeah. I got plenty more. And again, you can tweak it. So if it's more light than you need, turn it down. Take the constant current driver with your screwdriver. It's just a little screwdriver, a little pot, and just turn it down a little bit. Make the flashlight as bright as you need. Not as bright as it can be. That's another reason to use two emitters. It's more efficient. So the less power you put into the LED, it puts out a little bit less light, but the power drops faster than the lumens does. So your lumens per watt efficiency goes up. So by doubling the number of emitters, you might get like 25% more efficiency out of it. Because I'm running this at the same power as I was running the single emitter. And yet that's definitely brighter than the single emitter. So in theory, that should also go for 2 days or 5 days. In theory. Well, no, not what is it? 3 days. 60 hours. Roughly 60 hours. Actually, you could go a lot longer than 60 hours, but I could tell it was getting dimmer. And the moment I could tell it was getting dimmer, that's the time to stop. But it is a BMS, so it won't let you undervolt the battery. So you don't have to worry about murdering the battery. Yeah. Okay. Go from there. Now, of course, in Firefly mode, you could probably get a week out of this thing. Like the power I plan to put out of this side emitter, I bet you to go for a week. We might even try that, just for the hell of it. Just turn it on and just leave it. Just come back in 5 days. It's still going. Come on. Time to print. $2 of Candy Crush. That's good. Yeah, I like this. I gotta find where I can get more of this gold TPU, because this looks like gold Krugerrand. This would go really well with Paramount's gold Krugerrand filament. That looks like. That's just a nice color. It's got that golden hue to it. It's got a little bit of translucence. It's good filament. What is that? Come on, print me. I love my cat. He's such a good boy. He's a good, good cat. I hope Mike figures out a way to ship those printers. Man, do I want those big printers so bad. Especially once I can afford the electricity. Being able to turn on, 6 or 7 large format printers will mean I could do big projects in relatively short order. I mean, ultimately, it takes the same amount of electricity, just over how much time. They just dropped a turd. Good. It's too bad TPU wasn't more affordable. What is that? M3. Is that M3 is 3D? M3 is 3D. Etsy? Wow. Guitar, octopus guitar hanger. That's pretty slick. I like the Einstein headphone holder too. I don't know how he could sell this stuff that cheap. I mean, Einstein headphone stand, 45 bucks? I mean, there's 15, 20 bucks in plastic in that. And he's not making any money. It's a hobby for him. He's not doing this to make money. Here, let me show you. I mean, I don't blame him for that, but it makes it hard for anybody else to make money. Well, then he's not paying his own labor. Because, like, here, this Einstein head. Okay? He's selling this for 45 bucks. Free shipping. All right? If I were to print this, you're looking at 12 to 15 bucks worth of filament, at least. And that's if you buy it cheap. Like I get those, 10 kilograms for 100 bucks. Because that's a half a kilogram of filament at least. To make something that large. It might even be more than that. Because those are pretty big headphones. Those aren't little headphones. So this is basically the size of your head. I mean, yeah. If the headphones fit on it, it's not that much smaller than your head. This is probably 2/3 full scale. So that's at least half a kilo, probably 2/3 of a kilogram of plastic to print that. So you're already half of the cost here in plastic. Now $75 is not bad. But is this actually 40% off, or is it always $45? Well, doing it from pellets will help a lot. That'll cut his filament cost in half. But he also had to invest the high cost of a filament extruder. Then he's using walls. And walls are heavier than infill. Infill doesn't weigh anything. This is what I try to explain to people. Infill doesn't weigh anything. Infill is what I call internal support. That's what infill is. Infill is so that when you round off this top here, for example, the infill is the support that allows that top to print. That's why this only has 5% infill, because this doesn't need any infill. It's got 2 or 3 walls, of PETG. It doesn't need infill. The only reason the infill is there is so that when you print stuff like this, it has something to sit on. Infill is basically interior support. And so yeah, he should be using this depending on what kind of infill he's using, I'd use somewhere in between. See, the problem is he's using PLA, and you got to be careful if you The other thing that infill gives you is structural integrity if your part softens. So if your part gets softer from heat, infill will hold it together, so to speak. It'll keep its shape. Too little infill and the part warps. Not because it's not strong enough, but because it gets soft in the heat. Even with a 1mm nozzle, doesn't matter. When it gets hot, you need a little bit of infill to support it. So I'd probably do at least 5% infill, but all your weight is in the perimeters. Perimeters equals mass, infill doesn't equal mass. That's why I didn't bother making the turkey feathers hollow in the back. Make them a skeleton. It actually made the part heavier. It was cheaper just to leave the perimeters and fill it with infill. It took less plastic. But even still, $45, he's not making any money. So if his normal price is 75, okay, that's fine. That's a decent price because there's no painting or finishing, and this requires very little support. A little bit under the chin, a little bit under the nose. I've printed this before. It's a really nice print. I did it in marble. It came out really cool. So it's a relatively easy print, but it's also going to take a while. Pellet extruders aren't quick. So now you have machine time, electricity, wear and tear. I just hope he's not undercutting himself. I hope this is like an actual Christmas sale and not his regular price. That's funny. I like the alien one. That's kind of cool. Very cool. That. It changed. It's different ones now. See, that's not bad. That's big though. I know that, but the thing is, that means he's not paying himself. His time to maintain these machines, he should be paying himself a labor rate for doing that, and not just counting it as free. You shouldn't do that. You got to pay yourself. I love these giant alien heads. That's awesome. Wow, that's cool. See, these prices are more reasonable. So maybe it was just sale prices. David Bowie trash can. Nice. Oh, it's still on page 2. Okay. It never went back. This looks like species 8342. Nice. Now, see, that should be a trash can. That'd be a perfect trash can. I could absolutely see a mechanic buying that to put in his shop. I love this octopus guitar holder. That's awesome. Very cool. Boy, for making really big prints, a pellet extruder would be awesome. Just feed it raw plastic. Yeah, these prices are reasonable. I just don't want to see him undercut himself. I like the mech wall. That's nice. That's Here's his YouTube channel. Oh, he stalks the thrift stores too, huh? I'll check him out. There's the clamp. That's fine. That was a super fast print. The model will now have a little groove in there that this will fit in. Assuming I designed it right. Did I design it right? Did I make it too short? I might have made it too short. I might have to make that clamp a little longer. Get it to go down there and grab that. Okay. All right, I might have to, but nice thing is all I have to do is change this. I don't have to change everything else, just change this. I can't really make it go deeper here because then the screw will have less to bite onto in here. I don't want that either. Okay. Left to right is good. I just don't think it's going to go down far enough to really, grab that properly. Now, I think I'm also going to fill in this a little bit here just to stiffen it up a bit because there's just empty space there. It'll only add a 1/4 gram of plastic, so it doesn't really matter. Okay. Okay, so add probably 5 millimeters to that and then fill in this part here. Fill in that part and add about 5 millimeters to that just to make sure it grabs the top of that USB port so you don't accidentally push it out. Huh. Yeah, there's no way to do that. I was thinking I could have it wrap around it like this and then put the screw in through here, but there's not enough room. Yeah, I'm interested in seeing what he does with the printers. I'm guessing it's a custom machine he's using. Let's see. How do I want to make this? The smaller flashlight. I think I have to wait until I have parts first. Because it's going to be small enough that it's going to be tight enough that... Although I could make it modular. And then just merge the modules together. Because, for example, the this one's going to be 2 pieces that clamp together, and then there's going to be a single screw holding it together. I need to get a latching push button switch. A very small latching push button switch. Or just use a small slider. I mean, we're only talking about 1 watt. It's not like there's a lot of power going through it. The slider is still the safest. I could recess it a little bit, and you eliminate the problem of accidentally turning it on. And if you guys want to waterproof these, just use a conformal coating on all the electronics once you have them set the way you want. Well, for example, what I'm going to do is show you. No, I can't. But you take a piece of heat shrink tubing, put it over the part, and then fill the ends of the heat shrink tubing with hot glue. Well, there you go. Whatever's inside that is now watertight. Just make sure you get the ends of the wires, because water will go. If you have a wire, and here's your metal wire coming out of the sheathing, water will go between the sheathing and the metal core. Water will work its way up inside the wire. So you got to make sure that the ends of the wires are inside your watertight, structures that you create inside there. The battery probably doesn't need to be made watertight. I doubt water's actually going to hurt that. Cylindrical cell, I don't think water's going to hurt that. This thing's definitely not going to float. Not with that kind of weight inside there. It's not going to float. So get that out of your head. It ain't floating. If I can get TPU cheap enough and in enough colors, I would probably print a lot of stuff with just TPU. It always sticks. You basically turn the heat bed off. It helps to have a little bit of heat bed, but like I'm running at 55, and you could easily turn it off once you get that first layer down. And they make harder TPUs. The what is it, 60D? It's much stiffer, but it still has the benefit of TPU, meaning itty bitty little bit of give, and sticks like gangbusters. It's basically indestructible. If we could get TPU cheap enough, more people should probably use TPU basically. Let's look. TPU filament. 605. Let's see if they have any thick stuff. they have any of the stiffer stuff? This is all regular. That's not. No way. Yeah, it's $9. As I thought. I was saying, there's no way you get you get $10 a kilogram for TPU. No way. I wish. FG, PLA. Where's the TPU? PETG, 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 PLA, PLA, PLA. PETG transparent. Why did this come up? There's no TPU here. So why did you even come up for TPU? Why do you do that? I hate that. $43? Lick my nuts. 98A is a little stiffer. What's TPU silk? This is TPU? No, this is silk PLA. Oh, here's more. What is TPU silk? Even that's not bad. $12 a kilo? Wow. That's actually TPU for that price. Oh, what the hell? What do you mean it can't be shipped to my address? Asshole. Why even show it to me? Ships from the US. That's really not bad. I mean that's almost $10 a kilo. That looks clear too. And a $5 off coupon too? Or not. Oh, the purple pink is gone. That green looks slick. Okay. Now what's this color? Orange. Oh, green. Okay, this is golden. I wonder if this is the same golden I have here. Who makes this? Generic, no name. It sure looks like that though. Ooh, pink. That's only 47. I wonder why that's cheaper. 52, 3 for 3, 3 for 3. Black is 48. And the pink is 48. They have brown too. Add that to the cart. What do you mean it's no longer available? Huh. Must have just sold out. I'm wondering if that's too good to be true. I mean, $10 a kilogram for TPU? The reason 1.751, I used to know the reason for this. Let's look it up. I used to know the reason. There is a reason why 1.75 prevailed. I think it has to do with printing speed and the ability to heat the plastic all the way through. Yeah. Lower extrusion force, faster heating, and Bowden compatible. But yeah, I knew it had something to do with that. It took a lot more heat to heat soak a 3mm, 2.85mm strand than it did a 1.75 strand. I need to get a printer set up with 2.85 just because I have a bunch of rolls of 2.85 that I can't use, including some really nice flex filament from Polymaker, some good stuff. See, that's pretty, but not worth that. I like eSun, but are these big rolls or little rolls? Ooh, they got colors. $65? Come on. That's not reasonable. No one's paying $67 for 95A. Ooh. Ouch. Like, ooh. Ooh, it's not that ooh. It ain't that nice. I would love one of these color changing if there's a reasonable price. The 200 grams is $15. Yep. 800 grams is 46. Way too much money. Hmm. The Anycubic Viper has a nice captive filament path. No, you can't get beyond those limitations because it's thermodynamics and physics. You can't just get by thermodynamics and physics. The only way you'd be able to get by that is to develop a plastic that is more absorbent of heat, that more efficiently absorbs heat. The problem is that would also help 1.75. I mean, it's a simple fact that you have to push the heat to the center of the core of your plastic that you're shoving through the nozzle. And when you're taking 2.85 and funneling it down to 0.4 millimeter, the delta between those two is really high. It's a lot easier with 1.75. Now, of course, if you're printing, with a 1 millimeter or a 1.5 millimeter nozzle, okay, 2.85 starts making more sense. But you're the exception at that point. There's just not that many people who print that. Ouch. There's just simply not that many people who, print with a nozzle that big. Yes, we can heat faster and better, and that costs money. You need more expensive heaters. You need more expensive hot ends. You need a higher electric bill and load demand to run the printer. 1.75 just eliminates so many problems. There's really not a good reason, unless you're doing things like, really soft flexibles, or you're printing with a really big nozzle. There's just no compelling advantage to going back to 2.85. And it's also easier to produce 1.75 because it's easier and faster and more consistent to reliably cool it. 2.85 is going to have a higher thermal mass, which means it's going to be more difficult to cool it and get it to hold its shape and configuration before the gets spooled onto the spool. So there's a lot of distinct advantages in thermodynamics and physics that just makes 1.75 better. VHS and Betamax were different. Betamax was technically superior, but VHS was better marketed and cheaper. So VHS won. But in this case, 1.75 was created to be superior to 2.85. Boy, that's a pretty filament. But I'm not paying $63 a kilogram for that. That's nuts. I think 40 a kilogram is nuts. And this you gotta be careful, because at this point, Amazon becomes affordable for TPU. Yeah, $16.99, and it would be here tomorrow. 25 for a nice purple. So that's a kilogram total in 4 different colors. That's actually not bad if you need different colors. Oh, 250 grams. See, I hate when they show a 1 kilogram roll, but they're only giving you 250 grams. They should not be allowed to do that. To me, that's a form of deception. That's a nice green for 17 bucks. That blue is beautiful. And you see, this is not that horrible. You're paying $25 a kilogram, but you get 8 colors. Now, if you're printing large things with TPU, that doesn't work. But if you're printing little things like, I just need to print these 3 pieces, this starts to make more sense because it gives you more variety. That blue is nice too. I wonder what the deal is with this silk TPU. I wonder if it suffers the same layer adhesion problems, or does the bonkers layer adhesion of TPU compensate for the silk elastomers? Might be worth trying out one day just to find out. You see, here's a rainbow TPU. Oh my god. 25 bucks. That's a pretty blue too. That's not too bad. An orange, like a terracotta. $40 too. Coupon. Now, how do you turn 90A into 75A? How does that work? Is it foaming? Oh, you got purple, blue, and yellow too. How does this work? Hey, Cassandra. I love my Zune. The Zune was, for the time, the Zune was one of the best music players ever made. And they Sony'd themselves. Those fucking assholes Sony'd themselves. If they didn't do that, you'd probably still see people rebuilding Zunes today. Because it was so much better than the iPod. The Zune uses the the Zune came out with the UI that we all use today. That everybody uses today. We all use the same UI. That UI. The same UI that we all use everywhere today. You know, you have the title bar, you have the album art that fills the screen, and you have your controls and your scrubbing. That is the same UI that everything uses today. Every iPod uses this, every MP3 player uses this, every phone uses this. Well, the first one to come out with this was the Zune. I modified my phone MP3 player to look like the Zune MP3 player, which is this. Okay, this is MP3 Player Pro. All right, the Zune came out with that, but the moment you had to plug that Zune into a computer to put your music on it, you wanted to shoot yourself in the forehead with a shotgun. Oh my god! It's like, you copy all your music onto it and be done with it because you never want to plug in the Zune software ever again. It's so bad. I mean, how do you make hardware that's so good, a UI that's so damn good? I mean, everything about the Zune was so freaking good until you plug it into the computer. Then it's a living, absolute hellscape of a nightmare. It is the only thing worse than iTunes. Okay? iTunes was almost as bad, but Microsoft had to one up themselves and make PC software that was worse than fucking iTunes. There were plenty of MP3 players that were superior to the iPod, but they had marketing and they had simplicity, and and on top of that, it worked. And of course, there were ways around iTunes. There were ways to get around iTunes. There was no way around Zune. You had to use the Zune software. No one ever came up with a way to get around it. It's the same reason the Sony mini disc died, because they Sony'd it. They kept it proprietary. They kept it locked down, and MP3 players just ate their fucking lunch. I love my mini disc player. I still have my mini disc player. I still have stacks of mini discs. I love my mini disc player. I got my Hello Kitty mini disc. The pink mini disc with Hello Kitty on it. But I had a mini disc player that was about this big. It took a single AA battery and would play for 48 hours. And it never skipped. It had an optical connection. So if you burned, this is one of the few MP3 players where you burned a CD to put it on your mini disc. Because whatever fit on a CD fit on the mini disc. And also, if you put the effort in to do CD text when you burned your CD, when you ripped, I had a Sony CD player that had an optical output, and my mini disc had an optical input, so it was a digital connection between the CD and the mini disc, and it would also transfer all the artist names, the titles of the songs, all of that would transfer over when I ripped that CD to the mini disc. It was wonderful. I loved my mini disc player. This was before we had, color screens, but my mini disc player, it would eat Apple's lunch. Apple couldn't touch it. And but Sony'd it. They came out with, and they finally after forever, after it was far too late, came out with NetMD, and it was absolutely horrendous, just like fucking Zoom software. They tried to keep it locked down. They tried to control your interface with your own hardware, and eventually fucking Android did this too. And most people don't realize that Android still does this to this day, which really pisses me off. I miss the old days of Android, where when I plugged my USB cable into my computer, there was no software. It was UFS. It was plugging your Android phone, you plug your Galaxy S2 into your computer, was absolutely no different than plugging this into your computer. And that's exactly what your computer saw. UFS, Universal File System. No overlay, no MTM, no interface language. It was straight UFS. And then they got rid of that, and now you have that layer over it. That's why when you're copying files to your Android, you can't do anything else, because you can only handle one operation at a time, and it's slow as balls. I used to be able to just grab files and just go as fast as a flash drive. God, I hate the overlay. I hate it so much. It's actually gotten to the point where I don't use, unless I'm transferring a large number of files, like big files, like video files. I don't usually even bother plugging my tablet into the PC. Instead, I have flash drives that have a USB-C port on it, and I just copy the files to the flash drive, and then I stick that flash drive right up my tablet's ass, and then there you go. Now it shows up, and I copy all the files over. Okay. iTunes was simple if you did it Apple's way, but for power users, iTunes kind of sucked, and it got in the way. It was an impediment that you had to work around, but the impediment wasn't that big a deal. It wasn't horrendous. Zune software was horrendous. Hardware to hardware, Apple lost. Dead last. They didn't hold a candle to anybody else. The UI on the interface on the device, the Zune killed everything. Nothing else could touch the Zune. That UI was so fucking good. It was so good that 15 years later, everything still copies the Zune UI. After you got the music onto the Zune, because getting the music onto the Zune was oh my God, it was such a night. Do you know how long it took me to figure out that the Zune software kept fucking with my albums? I don't want albums. Fuck you. Fuck your albums. Fuck your artists. Fuck all that shit. I have folders, and I want that folder to play together. I don't care what's in that folder. I don't care what artists are in that folder. I don't care what bands and what genres and other bullshit are in that folder. Folder. 32 files. Play the 32 fucking files. That's it. That's what I want. I want you to just play those files. I want to be able to go music. New Age and Yanni, and then just go. And that's what I want. I don't want this bands and genres and all this bullshit. I'm already organized. My music's already organized, but they all want you to do it their way. You know what? Finally, there's an extra tag in ID3 meta information. I didn't even know this tag existed. Okay? Because you think, well, artist, right? Group, artist, album. You're thinking album, right? That's what I want. I want this album to play, but I can't get it to play because it keeps either not including all the songs or it adds other songs. It's like, where the hell is it getting this stuff? Well, I have a certain number of old phones that I hang on to. I use them as time-lapse cameras. So I usually put big batteries on them back in the day when you could replace batteries. And I mount them to posts I stick in the ground, and I run time-lapse cameras using old phones. They also make great just pocket cameras and video cameras. A lot of very cheap, well, they're harder to come by nowadays because the batteries are all bad in them. But back when you could replace batteries in phones, you would buy that 5-year-old flagship phone because it could still record 4K video. Laptops depends. I don't tend to keep as many of them just because they take up space. Plus, eventually, you run into a bottleneck where it's just not performing fast enough anymore. Like, at one point, I realized I can't really use anything that's less than an i5. So, all the tablets and laptops that were older than i5 just had to go. They just weren't fast enough. Especially nowadays when you have Microsoft forcing you to update the OS, by getting driver manufacturers and software manufacturers to refuse to load the software unless it rejects the old OS. Bullshit like that. Oh, this software, you see that on fucking Android now, where you can't install the latest versions of Android apps because your Android version's too old. That pisses me off. That's not planned obsolescence. That's forced obsolescence. And that really pisses me off. Oh, what are you going to do? What I hope will eventually happen is that we'll reach a bottleneck of performance. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you. The thing that drove me nuts with the Zune software and iTunes software, because iTunes did the same fucking thing. There's another meta tag in your MP3s. It's a data entry called band. That's right. There's a data entry called band. Half the times, your songs don't even have anything in the band entry. It's one of those antiquated, hardly ever used meta information tags, meta tags for MP3s that no one ever uses. But not only did fucking Zune and iTunes use it, they mandated it. It was superior to everything else. So even though I had renamed, like for example, I create my own mixes. I might have 150 songs that I want all to play at once as my own custom mix. And every time I get a new favorite song, I add it to it. And I kept adding these songs, and it kept splitting them apart into separate albums. I was like, I deleted the ID3 tag information, and I made them all the same album, my favorites. And it still split them up. And that's because that antiquated, what do you call it? That vestigial band tag was filled in. And because it's not a tag you commonly use, it's not there on the main screen. It's on one of the subscreens to get to that tag. And the only way I was able to fix it is I had this extension that you can install for Windows called ID3 Tag It. Basically, I'd right-click a folder and I'd go ID3 Tag It, and it would open up that folder in ID3 Tag It, and you could look at the 2 different versions of ID3 tag information, like 2.4 and something else. There's 2 different version numbers, and I had to first rename the files with the ID3 tag information that I wanted. So artist, title, album, maybe genre, year, stuff that's largely irrelevant. That's not going to mess anything up. And I had to export that to rename all the files using that information. And then I had to erase the tag information completely, eviscerate the meta tag information, and then restore the meta tag information using the file name structure that I created to be able to remember the information for all those songs. And that was the only way that I can get rid of all these vestigial tags that iTunes and Zune were using to try to intelligently organize my music while just pissing me off like you could not believe. The day my iPod Nano, because I love my little iPod Nano, which looks just like a Zune, the day my Zune and my iPod Nano both played my favorites without splitting it into 30 different albums, it was like, yes! Finally! I will never plug these things into a computer ever again. Oh my God, it was so aggravating. I miss that days, though. I miss going to computer shows. I really, really... I don't want to fucking use playlists. I don't want to make up a million playlists and have to make them again and make them again and make them again and make them again. It's done. I have a folder. It says favorites. Inside that folder is 153 songs that are my favorites. Just do what I fucking say and play the folder. Because you know what happens? I get a new device and I gotta do it all over again. Once I figured out how to fix it, it's like magic. All the devices finally read my goddamn playlists correctly. Oh my God, it was so annoying. It's like you're fighting these devices. It's like you're fighting them. It's like, now if you're a music listener who just buys CD, sticks it in iTunes, rips it to your iPod, okay, great. It works wonderfully. Even Zune works wonderfully for that. Well, the problem with the Zune software is half the time the fucking Zune software didn't work. It always phoned home. It always phoned home to Microsoft. And half the time the Zune software just didn't fucking work at all. And when you finally got it working, it's like, okay, quick, get all your shit transferred to your Zune because you don't know how long this software is going to keep running. But once the music was on the Zune, the experience was amazing. It was just an incredible experience. But it's another case where someone like Microsoft, someone like Sony, does something revolutionary, does something wonderful, does something that's great, does something that's going to change the industry forever, and everyone else eats their cake because they shoot themselves in the foot trying to keep things proprietary. You know, if Sony had opened up the mini disc standard, made it an open standard that worked by UFS, I simply USB cable, oh, look at that, F drive, folder of MP3s, copy, MP3 mini disc player, play. Okay? If they'd have done that, we'd probably still have mini discs floating around. Especially when the high MD came out and they had the 1 GB mini discs. Oh man, that would have been amazing. But no, they kept it locked down. They kept it proprietary. They stifled their own invention, and by the time they unlocked it enough to make it usable, it was too late. Apple ate their lunch. SanDisk ate their lunch. Android, Google ate their lunch. That was it. Too late. People switched. They're gone now. They're not coming back. No, once you switch to something like this, you're not going back. Sonos? I never had a Sonos. Oh. See, that's just it, though. There are very few albums that I listen to. I mean, you have the original suite for Fern Gully. You have the soundtrack to Last of the Mohicans, which I still haven't watched the movie. It's my favorite CD of all time. I think I bought that CD 8 or 9 times. Every time I destroyed it, I'd go buy another one. When I got my first CD burner, the very first thing I burned was my pictures, which is good because my hard drive failed right after I did that. But the second thing that I burned was Last of the Mohicans. So I would stop destroying my precious original copy. There is a couple like Cusco. I'll listen to that whole album. I think I have more fingers than albums where I just put the album in the CD player and listen to it. That's just not how I listen to music. If that's how you listen to music, you're gonna love iTunes. You're gonna love Zune if you can get past the connection problems. Okay, you're gonna love these fucking piece of shit software interfaces. But if you're like me and you piece together your own albums, I don't want to work with your stupid cocksucking bullshit piece of shit interface to make a custom playlist. I already have a custom playlist. You see those 4 folders? Those are my playlists. This folder has 72 files in it. That's the playlist. You can't figure that out? Fuck you. I'm not jumping through your hoops. If you can't figure out that I want you to play the songs that are in that folder, fuck you. It really did drive me crazy. Matter of fact, let me show you. I can actually show you the tag that did it. Let's see. Let's go to my pirated music folder of all the stuff that I slurped down from I still have it. ID3 tag it. Let's switch to desktop. So here's ID3 tag it. So, this is one that I'll listen to most of it, except I get rid of these last couple songs. I don't like them. So, right click, see tag version 1, tag version 2. That's the first thing that I didn't realize, is that I would clean up one, and then this fucking software would decide, I prefer what's in this one. So I'm just going to undo all the fucking work you did and replace it with this one. So what I had to do was I had to come in, I had to pick one, okay? And I would come in here and I would remove tag 1. Delete it all together. Then I would come into tag 2 and I would go tag 2 to file name. And here you'd have all these commands here. So A is for artist, capital B is for album, capital K is for total number of, no, capital K is for track number, and then the capital T is for title, capital Y is for year. So, I would have to add all these, bracket, letter, bracket, space, dash, space, bracket, letter, bracket, space, dash, space, bracket, letter, bracket, space, dash, space. Whatever information I wanted to save, I would make that into one of these things here, and it would then rename the files to be, you know, this, 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 this. And then once I did that, I would go in here and I would delete tag v2. I would close this, open it, make sure tag v1 and tag v2 were gone, because sometimes the files were slightly corrupt and it wouldn't let you do it. Then I would go tag v2, and I would go to file name to tag v2, and now you would do the reverse. You would tell it. It's kind of like using a comma separated file. You ever do that? A CFV? You would then tell it, okay, this first chunk, that's the title. This next chunk, that's the album. This next chunk, that's the track, whatever, the year, whatever. You would then do all that, and it would then repopulate all of this information. I would then go right-click, tag v2, and do tag v2 to file name again, and now I would simplify my my list. If it was a list that I wanted numbered, it would simply get track number and title, and that's it. I don't need to see the artist name. I don't need to see the album name. If I want to see that, I'll look at it when I play the file. And then I would rename the files back to a simplified file name like this. And then I would add the album art and all that crap. But what it turned out to be was when you brought up the information here, so here's your normal information. Album, file name, lyrics writer, artist, owner, etc. Well, under here, detailed information, this one is the problem. Band, orchestra. It's this one that kept fucking me over. Because no matter how I renamed all of my files, no matter how I would put artist, I'd put title, and so I would change this to my favorites. And then I would rename all these to have a new album name called My Favorites. You would think, oh, it was a ton of work. But it only worked once. It only worked once. If you change devices, you had to do that all over again. And on top of that, the UI on the device was messy. You couldn't go into anything because you'd have all these jumbled up folders that it's mixing together by whatever whim it wants to. And also, this is a lot cleaner if you're ripping CDs. When you're downloading shit from other people, ID3 tag information is a lot messier. I would do this, and it didn't work. It would still separate them into separate albums. And it turned out it was this. It was this right here. It was this band orchestra thing. So this, I just emptied this. I took all this and I just got rid of it. I just deleted everything because all I need is this. I don't need all that extra crap. If you're going to cause me a heartache like that, you're gone. Or I would make the band orchestra also my favorites. Just in case the stupid fucking software got it up its smart ass to go, oh, you left that blank. Let me fill that for you. Did that make me mad? I spent an hour fixing it, and it just undid it all because it says, huh, I recognize this song, and that's blank. Let me fill that for you. I was gonna rage. See, that's what's bullshit. This DMCA crap is bullshit, is what it is. But anyway, ID3 tag it. I still use this software to this day to clean stuff up because it just works. It's just good software. And once you know how to do it, you get quick. You can quickly go. You just eviscerate all the garbage. Like, what the hell? See all this? Goodbye. See all this? Goodbye. You see all this? I don't need you. Goodbye. Now you can't bother me anymore. Or if you are going to bother me, I'm going to tell you to suck my dick because I'm going to do this. It's like, you want to mess with me? Okay, go ahead, mess with me. I'll just do this. Oh, one of my favorite was encoded by up yours. I love doing that. But yeah, but usually just deleting this was enough. And now it would actually sort by this right here. Oh my God, it was so aggravating. And then once I got it all cleaned up, I would come back out to the folder and I would right click tag v2 and I would do um there was a way I can do it. Was it here? There was a way I can copy. I guess I think I had to do it here. File name to tag v2 and then also do file name to tag v1, just so it would all, because there were some older MP3 players that didn't support version 2 of the metadata information. That's why you have the 2 versions for legacy support for older devices. Nowadays, this doesn't matter, but 25 years ago, this was pretty important because you needed that tag v1, so that little SanDisk player that you'd put your MP3s in would read it. I miss those times, man. It was fun figuring stuff out. And I really, really miss computer shows. I miss going to the swaps and the computer shows and just finding cool shit cheap, seeing the new stuff that people were coming out with, including inventions like, people coming out with, PC accessories. And, they were hand making these things, small production numbers. Like, I remember this one guy in the early days of VR, and he had these motion sensing joysticks. They didn't work very well because the tech just wasn't there yet. Um, but you can see where the future was going. You can say, man, I can see where that's going to be in 5 or 10 years. I miss that so much. I love going to computer shows. It's one of my favorite things to do is go to computer. You can walk into a computer show with $100 and walk out with such cool shit. That's where I got my big 21-inch monitors because we didn't have flat screens at the time. Oh yeah, I remember Computer Shopper. Yeah, we have old phone books and old computer shoppers sat next to the fireplace. Because that's where they live when you were done with them. Tinder to start the fire. Or I would take them to, when we go on vacation, I'd grab one and take them with me. And they make great paper airplanes, man. Just chucking paper airplanes out of the hotel. Oh, I miss that. But, what are you going to do? But my God, it took me forever to figure out why the hell it was screwing with me. It's like, just do what I say. This is my hardware. You're not supposed to fight me. You're supposed to help me. You're supposed to do what I want, not make me do what you want. Ugh. I also miss hobby shops. Those don't exist anymore. Very rare anymore. Very, very rare. There's just no hobby shops anymore. It really sucks. I mean, sure, you could buy everything online, but it's not the same. And also when you go online, unless you go on places like eBay or eRockets or something like that, you're just going to get what is the best sellers. It's not like walking into a hobby shop and you see that laser cut square shaped plywood rocket kit and you go, "What the fuck is that? I'll take all 4." Because they were just so damn cool, and you never saw them before then, and you never saw them after then ever again. And it really annoys me because I really wish, it pisses me off because if I had access to 5-year technology just a little bit more advanced, I could have preserved all those rockets. Those are rockets you could easily slap down on a, put 64th inch plywood on on any one of these cheap $100 laser cutters, and you'd be able to recreate those rocket kits now. But without an original kit to go by, can't do anything with it. Yeah, I was thinking about that. But that's more for looking at old tech, not for buying the latest, coolest, neat stuff, or getting some, used stuff that's still newer than anything you have. You know, it's not quite the same. It's good nostalgia, and I definitely want to go there. I want to check out one of these, vintage computer shows one of these days. But right now they just require traveling that I can't do. But it's not the same as the computer shows. The computer shows were stores, they were flea markets, they were thrift stores. It was all combined into one. It was like a thrift store, a Comp USA, and Goodwill, flea markets, and CES all rolled into one. Because you had the supply side. All these guys, they had the RAM and the hard drives and the motherboards and the cases, and these guys had all the tools. Here was the thrift store with all the used stuff that you could buy. Here was the tech stuff that wasn't necessarily the computer related, but it was tech stuff. And here in the middle, here's all the bleeding edge stuff. The new stuff people are inventing, the new games that are coming out and stuff like that. That's what a computer show was. So take a thrift store, a yard sale, a CES convention, and a Comp USA, and mix it all together. And that's a computer show. Back in the day, back in the time. I remember going back to my car. I had so much stuff. I bought these little electric scooters that ran on lead acid batteries. And I put the monitor and computer on the scooter, and then I sat on top of the monitor and like bump, 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 and rode that back to my car because of course the car was parked a freaking mile away in the parking lot. That was fun. I still had those scooters until I left Pennsylvania. I never brought them with me. I should have. With all the lithium iron phosphate batteries I have now, I could have revived those scooters. They would still work. They just needed batteries. That's too bad I got rid of those. Those things could actually move some weight too. They actually had a bit of power. They weren't fast, but they had torque. They could you'd only go 5 or 6 miles an hour, but you could load your 200-pound fat ass and all your 200 pounds worth of gear on top of there and go, and it would work. But yeah, I miss that. I miss that a lot. What is it? That is not supposed to be a solid layer. But it's printing a solid layer where it shouldn't be printing a solid layer. I mean, it doesn't matter, but it's wasting plastic and time. Yep. You'd go to the show and you'd build a computer, literally. Okay, I need that motherboard. I need that CPU. That works with that motherboard, right? Yep. Okay. That RAM, that works with that motherboard. And you'd buy this screw kit and you'd pick out what case you wanted and what fans you needed, and you just pick all the parts. It was awesome. Remember the Levian cases? They were all stainless steel and aluminum. They were like the case everybody drooled over, but they were so expensive. Oh man. Remember you'd get the speaker that would go into a drive bay, the TV tuner that would go into a drive bay. You'd have all these accessories that would fit into 5¼ inch drive bays. So us nerds had these computer cases that had like 8 drive bays because we'd get all these extra accessories. We'd have our 2 CD burners, our 2 CD. There was no DVD burners yet. We'd have our 2 optical drives in there, and then we'd have our PCMCA card slot, our compact flash card slot, our speaker unit, our tape drive backup unit. Incredible. And now you can get a PC on a stick that makes those computers look like antiquated garbage. A Raspberry Pi 4E Plus or whatever would just smoke those computers from back then. I remember when my dad helped me pay for my first RAM upgrade for my computer, and I upgraded from 4 megabytes to 8 megabytes. And I was so fucking happy because I was going to be able to do so much more now that I had 8 megabytes of RAM, because I was just RAM limited at that point. You know, there's certain things you just couldn't do until you had more RAM. And it finally went from, you know, it was I was excited to pay $35 a megabyte. 35 per megabyte, not gigabyte, megabyte. Because the price finally went down from the $158 a megabyte. I remember doing the math once, and I held up 2 sticks in my hand and said, I was like, "You see this, Dad?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "What's that?" And I was like, "RAM for a computer." It was like 16 gigabytes of RAM. It was crazy amount of RAM for the time. And I was like, "If we could go back in time 10 years, this is worth your house." I, well, let's do the math. I remember specifically $158 a megabyte at one point. I know it was higher at some points. 158 times 1,000. That's $158,000 for a 1 gigabyte stick of RAM. I had 2 gigabytes. That's $300,000. Now, it was never worth that much, but if you could go back in time and sell it for the same $158 per megabyte price, it's worth more than your house. Just the prices just came down so fast. It was a landslide that never ended. It just got, every single time you touched anything related to the computer, it just got cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Oh wow! You talk about the what do they call them? They're not dip sockets. And they're not zip sockets. What were those sockets called? I forget, but I know what you're talking about. I remember getting the RAM riser boards. It looked like it fit in the RAM slot, and then it stood up vertically, and it had 4 more RAM slots in it. And that was so that you could take all your old RAM that you paid so much money for, and you could stack it up in these slots. So now you could put 16 megabytes of RAM in your computer because you had 4 slots. But buying 16 megabytes is expensive. I already had like 3 computers, and that one had 8 megabytes, and those 2 had 4 megabytes. So I got 4 of these little RAM risers, and I put 4 megabytes in each one. And I was able to put 16 megabytes of RAM in my computer. It was crazy. I remember we got the gear out of the storage locker on the football field, and I got super excited because I found floppy disks. 8-inch floppy disks. Oh my god, I'd never seen one in person before. It was amazing. I still remember running AutoCAD on 5 1/4 inch floppy disks. You know, the most wonderful thing was when we finally got, the 386s with the 3.5 inch floppy disks instead of the 5 1/4s, because they were so much easier to play with than the freaking 5 1/4s, which are a nightmare. Ugh, that was fun. Let's not even start. Let's not even talk about IRQs and trying to get more shit connected to your computer, and you keep having interfering IRQs. when you had autoexec.bat and config.sys that you had to manually configure to make a computer work properly, and then the guys at work, they would do things to these computers, and like, I built these computers from scratch, and they did things to these computers that to this day I still don't know how they did it. Like, I was like, I was like, Rick, what did you do? It's like, I can't duplicate this. I was like, whatever the hell you did to do this, he had somehow created a second autoexec.bat and config.sys, and he referenced the second autoexec.bat and config.sys from the root autoexec.bat and config.sys and ran both. It's like, I don't even know how to do that. Like, I couldn't do that if you asked me to. They somehow found a way. That was when you could actually make a byte by byte backup of a computer without these fucking TPM modules and bullshit getting in the way. And so I would ghost the drive, and then once a month I would come in and say, if there's anything on the computers when I come in tomorrow, get it off. Because I didn't even bother trying to fix the computers anymore. I gave up. They would come up with creative ways to fuck these things up so badly that I would just come in once a month. I was there 6 days a week, but once a month, that was the time span that I chose. I would put my boot disk in and plug in my drive, the backup drive inside that had an image of the hard drive on that backup drive that I kept disconnected so they couldn't touch it. And I would plug it in, put the boot disk in, turn the computer on, and just say, wipe it out. And 25, 30 minutes later, the computer was just like it was a month before. Just everything was wiped out, clean, and my ghosted backup image was restored. And you're like, where my solitaire? I don't give a fuck where your solitaire is. It's gone. I was like, if you can figure out how to reinstall it, go for it. But I'm going to wipe it out again in a month. Oh, man. Defragmenting the hard drive when it actually made a difference. Well, it still does make a difference. The computers just do it automatically in the background now. Don't even know they're doing it. But back then, you actually had to do it and watch it go as it moved and reorganized everything on the hard drive as the little squares all filled up. Or snot. I always have to keep a box handy. Something to spit it in. Oh man, that was just, it was fun. When hard drives were small and CDs were so big that I remember once I had a computer with 6 CD drives. I couldn't get them all 6 to work. There's probably a resource limitation. I think I only got 5 to work. But I would just take my 5 most commonly used discs and of course, Command and Conquer Red Alert and Yuri's Revenge took up 2 of those drives. I never did get the internal swap drives. I never could afford it. And or I got away from that kind of stuff by the time I could afford it. At one point, they had drives that were basically CD changers built into the drive. And so you could just load multiple discs and then it would automatically switch. So instead of the game popping up, insert disc 2, it would just go inside. It would switch to disc 2 and just go on automatically. What's that TV show? Screensavers. Remember the Screensavers? I met him. He still does a podcast. What the hell's his name? Leo Laporte. I met him at CES. 1997, I think. Still have a picture somewhere. But remember the Screensavers? Yeah. I guess everybody has their thing when they're growing up. I mean, my dad must have had something that was a big deal when he was a teenager. You know, there must have been something. Let's see, he was born 49. So that would be like 65 to 69. Um, so him would have been, I guess, Space Race. It would have been, but he was never into that. I think he was just before it. And then he was into business, and so he missed it. It wasn't his thing. It just wasn't his hobby. Hmm. Yeah, I missed the screensavers. That was fun. They tried to kind of keep it going for a while. I wonder, do they still run those podcasts? They had a similar one, and there was a fight for a long time over who had the right to use the name and all that bullshit. It's like, dude, you're dying. You're dead. Just give it up. Let someone try to save it. I remember there was a rush to find copies, old copies of these shows because nobody had them anymore. A lot of it just got lost. I wish people didn't try to control that stuff so much. Like, for example, I converted a whole bunch of VHS rocketry videos to DVD just to preserve them. And I asked the guys, like, hey, would you let me post these on YouTube? I was like, no monetization or anything like that. I just want to preserve them. And he said no. And of course, I respected his wishes, and I didn't post them. But my fear is that well, he still hasn't done anything with them, and that eventually he's never going to do anything with them, and they're just going to be gone. And that'll be it. They'll be history. And maybe I won't live long enough for him to die first and for me to post them, and now there'll be nobody to challenge a copyright or anything, and then that information will just be gone forever. That would suck. Yeah, that would suck. I hate seeing stuff just lost to copyright. Such bullshit. And we'll never learn. Really? It's not that good anymore? Oh, that's too bad. I haven't listened to him in a long time. I still listen to um what was it called? John C. Dvorak and the Adam Sav Adam Savage, is it? I think it's Adam Savage. His name's Adam. I still listen to them. No Agenda. The No Agenda show. They're still doing good. Their show is on. They're still on the ball. Um, let's see if he still has anything. Twit. That's what it is. Twit.tv. Podcasts. This week. That's right. This Week in Tech. So This Week in Tech is not good anymore. Do they even have it anymore? Guess here. Oh, right here. This Week in Tech. I'll have to listen to it again and see if it's any good. See if it's worth listening to. Oh, I want to know how this works. How is this? Yeah, Twit is the port things, and then the other one is No Agenda. The No Agenda show. Am I? I'm not even showing you guys. Duh. Here. Curry. Adam Curry. That's his name. And John C. Dvorak. John C. Dvorak used to be on the Screensavers. He used to be on the, what was that channel called? Tech TV. But, yeah, he still has tons of support. It's still a fun show to listen to. I don't agree with everything he says, but I still like him. Good show. $19. $17. That's Petchy. Oh, talk about annoying me. The freaking Polymaker giveaway during the Seattle Children's Hospital thing with 3D Printing Nerd yesterday. I got it. I put the code in. I put the code in time, and I submitted it, and then it rejected it. It turns out you can't submit your coins code and the gift card code at the same time. But it didn't tell you that anywhere. It's like, I'm supposed to guess? Because it didn't say, invalid or usage limit reached. It said 2 codes removed. Try again. And of course, when I tried again, now it said invalid code exceeded. But it's like, damn it, I got it. I got it on time. That just annoyed me. Oh, here's a multicolor. $24 too. I wonder why that's one of the few things that's really expensive on like Temu and AliExpress, unless you find the deals. Ooh, glitter. Funfetti. Oh, it's Cookie Cad. I love Cookie Cad. The filament's so expensive, but it's so nice. Although the reality is, $35 for a kilogram of custom niche exotic TPU is not a bad price. That's really not that bad when you consider what it is. For a generic TPU, no. That's too much money. But for a niche custom exotic TPU, hell yeah. Green apple elixir. Nice. What do they have on printables today? I gotta get out of here soon, but I figure let's see what they have on printables before I go. Well, there's a lot more than 2 people on Twit, but I doubt they work as full time as they used to. Printables wrapped 2025. I don't know what that is. Oh, have you seen this? When do you see this? $300, and you can get the Cobra 3 with the 4-color thing. 633 with the 2 of them. The 8-color version. And then they also have the Max for $525. That was $525. It might still be available for $525 somewhere. You gotta hunt around. But yeah, it was 525, now 549. But that's the max, the 420, 42500 with the 4-color. That's nice. That's a reasonable price. I can't afford it, but that's a reasonable price. There it is, 525. I knew it was available for 525. I wonder, is that including the 55 off? Oh, I'm not logged in. I could not use AliExpress at Narice.com. I have to use Express Ali at Narice.com. They won't let me use their name inside my email address. But the thing is, they don't tell you. It just doesn't work. It keeps saying, "Oh, you're good," and then it logs you out. It doesn't actually tell you that, hey, you can't do that. Like they're hiding it. It's like, why? Why? Oh, so you do have to enter a promo code, which means you can still get that promo code? Oh, okay. That promo code is how they're getting to 525. So you can get it for 507. So why can't I get the 55 off of the 525 price? I hate when they do that. I hate when they show this, but you can't actually get that. Still though, 500 bucks for a 445 printer with multicolor? Oh, that's nice. I can dream. Is that a max? It is. That's 449. No way. Oh, it's 20% off or this off, not both? Okay, that says 420. Oh, that's with the discount. So basically it pays for the DAX. $420. Oh, that's not the combo. There it is. You gotta get that one. That's why it was so much cheaper. Yeah. 549. I'm just curious how cheaply you can actually get these. So 528 is the cheapest you're gonna get for the Cobra 3 Max with multicolor. Ow. Ow. 250? Or is that just the printer? Yeah. 250 is just the printer. Still, it's amazing that you can do that for 300 bucks now. What happened? What happened with your S1? That's cool. continuous clogging means something's wrong. You either got a defective hot end, a bad cooling fan. That should have been something you'd be able to figure out and fix. Maybe you got with a throat that was bad. Well, just replace the nozzle. Make sure the cooling fan's running right. I mean, clogging has a reason. There's always a reason for clogging. Man, get a printer like that on Vine. Woo, nice. It's too bad it didn't work out. Did you ever get it fixed? Were you ever able to get it working? And was that the multicolor one or just the S1? I wonder if they have the other characters. Let's see. Feral. Nope, just Roomy. Haha, E.T. Something else I saw too. Yeah, the Mystery Machine. Michelle loves Scooby-Doo. Huh. Is that print without support? I'll have to grab that. Oh, they wouldn't send you a new motherboard? I'm surprised they didn't stand behind it. I'm surprised they did that. Oh, that's cute. Christmas benchy. Oh, wow. How does that work? Okay, that's pretty damn cool. How do you get to split in the middle, though? Is it just air gapping? Well, see, this is where you get large star tight, and then you scale it up. Oh, man, I got to try to print that. Not what I want you to do. I definitely have to try to print that. You see, that's where using those exotic glitter filaments would really shine. Because it would just look really nice. Really? You're gonna make me do that all over again? Oh, wow, that's nice. That's cool. That's cool. Check that out. I'll download that for keeping. I still think that's a copy. That's good. Oh my God, Killdozer. Ooh, that's a big one. Looky, looky, looky. Hey, here, YouTube screwed up YouTube Shorts. Oh, they were sending you a bunch of parts. It just kept getting worse. Ouch. Yeah, YouTube totally burned Shorts. I won't do remixes or anything on Shorts anymore. The I guess at some point I did a, where you remix someone else's short and to reply to it and whatnot. And they took my short off the internet because the original person who I remixed changed their terms to no longer allow remixing. Hello, that's not how copyright works. You can't retroactively change copyright. If it was legal when I posted it, it's still legal now. You can't. It's like, here's a good example. This here says that remix is allowed and commercial use is allowed. Okay. So if I download this and I, remix it, or I just start selling printed copies of it, and then tomorrow this person changes this license to no longer allow commercial use, well, my license is still in effect because when I downloaded it, commercial use was allowed. So I can continue to sell the what I downloaded. I can't download any updates because then the new license would apply. But you can't retroactively change the terms of the deal after the fact, and that's what YouTube did. So guess what? I'll never do another remix on YouTube Shorts ever again because I don't feel like putting any kind of. It was probably a nothing video that I don't really care about, but I don't feel like putting any effort whatsoever into doing something if you can retcon it later because someone changes their mind. That's like, so I could reply to somebody. That person could get upset that I replied to their video and told them, what stupid morons they are, and they can just change the license terms to not allow remix and get my video taken down. Fuck you. I just won't even bother doing it. Like, you're not supposed to be able to do that. You can't retroactively go back and change. Well, you obviously you can because they did it. You're not supposed to be able to do that. Oh, is this the somebody said they sent a gingerbread thing? Is this one of them? This one's cool. Did you see the gingerbread dragon? There's also one they're selling on Temu that's a Christmas dragon. It's like red colors and stuff like that. It's really cool. Huh. What, baby? How you doing? You want to say goodbye to the viewers with me? Yeah? Huh? Yeah? You're such a good boy. Yes, you are. You're such a good boy. Yeah. Been way all day. Sitting in that window? Huh? Like that window? I gotta build a shelf for this window up here. They have a tough time getting up there, but they like being up there. So I'm gonna put like 2 posts that they can climb and a shelf up there so they can relax and lay down up there. Because for the first like 4 or 5 hours of the day, the sun comes through that window and they love the sun. Yes, you do, don't you? Yes, you do. You're such a good boy. Yes, you are. Alrighty. I'm gonna skedaddle. I'm gonna go see the what they have at the Roadrunner. Hopefully they have some goodies. And tomorrow I'm going to see Michelle. I was supposed to see her yesterday, but I had a doctor's appointment tomorrow. So I figured, okay, I'll see her tomorrow. See you at the same time as the doctor's appointment. Doctor's appointment got canceled. So go down and see Michelle tomorrow. That's it. I will see you guys later. Don't forget my Amazon page. I appreciate any help you give by using that page. You know, if you see something, if I posted something that catches your interest, you can buy it through my link. I guess I'll probably still do a stream next Wednesday, even though that's what is that? That's Christmas Eve. I don't care. um, probably it'll be in the morning, so yeah, it's Christmas Eve. I'll probably still do a stream. Maybe I'll do it Tuesday instead. Maybe I'll do a stream on Tuesday. And oh wow, those are pretty. New pair of shoes. You could browse this forever. You just gotta stop at some point. It's just too much. um. Wow, now that's a big articulated octopus. But I will see you guys next week. I'll probably do a stream on Tuesday. This way I don't mess with nobody's Christmas holiday. And I should have the 24-volt LED light in. So once I have that and I confirm that it works on the tool batteries, I'll start working on the AOE light, area work light. I'm wondering if I can print a telescoping pole, if I can print one that's strong enough to actually hold up. I might try that. See if it's strong enough to hold up. But that's it. Don't forget, if you want to help me out, I got Zelle, I got PayPal, I got Patreon. I will see you guys next week. Be good. Remember, you know, say hi to your family. You know, tell your family you love them. Oh, Rexy, Christmas Rexy. I love Rexy. You know, don't forget to, say something to your family members. You know, it might be the last time you ever see them. You know, try to be nice to family because that last time you say something nasty to them, that might be the last thing you ever say to them. So start thinking about those kind of things, you know. Not worth it. It's just not worth it. Just people need to be more chill. Alrighty. I will see you guys later. Of course, I wasn't showing you anything on the screen. Well, you got to see the cats. All right. I will see you guys later. Bye.